This podcast is a quest for well-being, a quest for a meaningful life through the exploration of fundamental truth. Enlightening ideas, insights on physical, mental, and spiritual health. The inspiration is love. The aspiration is to awaken new ways of thinking that can lead us to a new way of being well. Welcome to Body, Mind, and Soul Healing Conversations.
In Sanskrit, the word chakra means disc or wheel and refers to the energy centers in your body. These wheels or discs of spinning energy each correspond to certain nerve bundles and major organs. To function at their best, your chakras need to stay open, activated, and balanced. If they get blocked, you may experience physical or emotional symptoms related to a particular chakra. In this episode, you will learn the benefits of F.C.A. yoga, full chakra activation yoga, which includes healing of physical ailments, relieving of emotional stress, mental clarity and spiritual insights, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual rejuvenation, more energy, quality rest, and improved sleeping patterns, among others. Valeria Teles interviews Rance Dunbar, aka the Chakra Doctor. Rance Dunbar was born and raised in the Big Easy, New Orleans. After overcoming countless hardships in life, including child abuse, depression, disease, addiction, lack of education, suicide attempts near death, and more, he propelled himself into a positive spiritual state of being and into a full-time Black business owner and spiritual master. Rance Dunbar, the Chakra Doctor, is most known for three things: creating the miracle food, all-natural, intracellular detox cleansing regimen, creating the F.C.A. yoga-guided meditation, creating the Money Magic Esoteric program. Meet the Chakra Doctor at chakradoctor.org. Here's the interview with Rance Dunbar, the Chakra Doctor.
In your own words, who is Rance Dunbar, the Chakra Doctor?
In my own words, who is Rance Dunbar, the Chakra Doctor? In my own words, Rance Dunbar, the Chakra Doctor, is the infinite, immortal, eternal, all-knowing God that you guys speak in the Bible, who's come down to live a life as a human and teach people in this life how to rise from humanity into godhood. Humanity has become stagnant, and so therefore we need to realize that we weren't just meant to be only human. We were meant to be superhuman, metahuman, godlike, if you will. And so people like me come around every now and then to spark that inspiration into humanity to become a god and not just no longer a woman or a man, a god or a goddess.
Yeah. And I wonder, how did you discover that? Do you still remember the understanding? How did that come to you?
First and foremost, the knowing was instilled in me from my mother. My mother taught me very well of, who I am, the spirit world, the things that exist beyond our natural five senses, and learning and researching and digging into myself through learning different secular knowledges, and started to basically connect the dots of these stories and actually see that, wait a minute, these stories are basically talking about what I'm doing right now. Jesus healed the sick. I heal the sick of incurable diseases, all incurable diseases, not just one, all of them. Christ-like beings, when Christ-like beings come to the earth, they come with big, big solutions that can solve all of the earth's problems. And so miracle food and what I bring in F.C.A. yoga and the esoteric program it is literally changing people's lives from zero to hero, nothing to something in 0 to 60 seconds flat. And it's and then researching to see what they say I was going to look like. What did they say I was going to bring? Well, they say when, Christ comes, Christ brings the light. And so the chakras are your inner lights. And I developed in a guided meditation so that anybody on the face of the planet, if they do or don't know about a chakra, can actually activate them and physically feel them as an evidence. So no longer will it be just a talk or a conjecture of, is it a science or a pseudoscience? But I actually have the technology to show you that it is an actual science and that you can use it upon command and on demand because it is for you. It is your heritage as an expression of the infinite creator all.
And with that in mind, yeah, I love what he said about this is our inherent light. So would you say that everything is energy? Everything that we are in contact with here in this reality?
Yeah, all physical things are energy. I would like to also say that, when you're dealing with energy is just not relegated to the physical world. And a lot of us get distracted by the physical world energy, never realizing that the physical world energy has a metaphysical source that it draws from. And so that's what I like to focus on. I like to focus on the roots. I like to focus on where things come from and what is the actual root power of a thing or a non-thing. And analyzing this, we always talk about let your light shine, love and light, this little light of mine. I'm going to shine bright like the stars. Everybody want to be a superstar. Stars shine bright. Keep all of these cliche sayings in our society that shows us that we are the actual light beings, that we are the actual artificial intelligence. We keep marveling at computers and terabytes, but last time I checked, our brain holds 10 million gigabytes. It's an actual computer. Our body is an actual machine. It's a, intricate seeing, touching, tasting, feeling, breathing, having sex machine, but a machine nonetheless. And once we understand that we are the spirit that is living inside of the machine for a time being to learn how to evolve as a greater spirit through physical nature, right? Through physical living, suffering, living, laugh, pain, dying, living, and all of the other things that come with the overall game of life, then we begin to realize that, oh, wow, I did sign up to come here to shine a light. And I did sign up to come here to learn something in this life. And it all begins to make sense once we learn that we chose to come here, that we are infinite and we chose to come here.
I get puzzled about the discovery of this. Why do so many of us don't get to experience life in this way, in a spiritual way? Is that because it's subtle, or why do we forget, Rance?
So I always liken Earth or the third dimension as a school, if you will. If you look in the sky, you have 12 zodiac signs, right? But that 12 zodiac signs coincide with the 12 months of your year. But then the 12 months of your year coincide with the 12 on your clock. But that 12 on your clock coincides with the 12 grades you got to go through in school. And those 12 grades that you have to go through in school, you have to literally go grade for grade and pass each test. So a lot of people didn't come here to be enlightened this life. A lot of people are still in third grade, first grade, second grade. A lot of people haven't even made it out of elementary school, right? The school of the elements, learning what life is and what the elements are. And so we have to break it back down to the basics and show you how the microcosm is always mimicking the macrocosm, and how do each other affect one another? Well, when you look at school, we start off in school as ignorant, but we leave out of school as graduates and experts. So a lot of us are, in our junior, freshman, sophomore, or whatever phase that we are in the school of life. So the school of life, everybody isn't meant to get it to get what you're getting, because everybody has an individual desire, need, and contract with the universe. So if you're in the 12th grade, learning 12th grade knowledge, 12th grade life lessons, 12th grade life people who you are attracting, soul beings who you're attracting, that is going to be different from a person who is in the first grade and he is learning the first grade lessons. And then add that with your karmic debt, and add that with your life path number. And now things begin to become more clear, and shows how unique that your situation is. Everybody has a unique fingerprint. Even twins have their own unique fingerprint. So that means everybody was sent here to learn their own unique lesson. Even though we're in the same space at the same time, that doesn't mean we are to be learning the same things at the same time and moving forward at the same time. Some of us incarnated to learn how to suffer. Some of us incarnated to learn how to die. Some of us incarnated to learn how to treat something right. And some of us incarnated to learn how to enlighten the world. And everybody has their own individual soul mission for what we do when we come here. And once those of us who do realize what our soul missions are, we wake up to it like a person who is late for work. Oh my God, I'm late for work.
Yeah.
And we get straight to it. Like, oh, this is what I was here for all along. And we get straight to it.
It makes a lot of sense from the perspective of life as a school, souls learning. And is there a destination for that, Rance? Like in the case of some people like yourself and so many others who have somehow, it comes across to me as you have graduated already. So do you still choose to come back here in a human body to help others, or you can also choose to stay as spirit?
Yes. So just like when you graduate high school and you move into college, and then you graduate college, and after college and you get your degree in college, what do? You go into the workforce. So do the ascended masters, and so do the spirit guides. When they graduate college, they go into their particular workforce field. Some of us come back to teach and enlighten. Some of us come back to build. Some of us come back to accelerate certain processes. Some of us come back to sacrifice themselves for the greater good, because we know that we are immortal and infinite. Some of us come back for different reasons, and some of us choose to say, well, no, I got my degree. I'm about to go start. I thought I wanted that degree, but I always wanted to have my own business. So I'm about to go be an entrepreneur, and I'm gonna give Earth a little rest right now. And I'm gonna go to Constellation Aquarius, and I'm gonna go learn what the lessons they have to teach me in Constellation Aquarius, right? And so just like, and remember, it says, as above, so below, on Earth as it is in heaven. So if we have schools and graduates in a workforce on Earth, then there are schools and graduates and a workforce in heaven. If we have police, jails, and punishment on Earth, there are police, jails, and punishment in heaven. And if we have germs, viruses, and diseases and bacteria on Earth, then so be it in heaven. As above, so below. And we have to realize that what we're doing on Earth, we're just mimicking the greater grand scheme of things that is already going on in the macrocosmic heavens.
Another question that came to mind is liberation. What would that look like?
Liberation would look like the liberation would look like the exchanging of powers. First, the society moving from patriarchal into matriarchal. The present day patriarchal governmental systems completely getting a makeover, and either completely falling and something new replacing it, or it transforming and morphing into something that it greater than something that it ever was. True liberation is going to be, we're not waking up to go to a 9 to 5. True liberation is we're not waking up to, not only are we not waking up to go to a 9 to 5, we're definitely not going to the rat race to pay bills. True liberation is you're not going to be able to be racist with anyone, because you realize that you're all with everyone. And true liberation is definitely the uplifting of the oppressed, weak people of the earth who haven't had a chance to be strong yet. And so, yeah, the true liberation, you're going to see true liberation because it's going to be evident when the so-called powers that be right now no longer be right now. And it is going to be a natural progression. You know, it's going to be an actual natural progression that was chosen by the people. If you look at all of the babies that are being born now, they call them pandemic babies, right? And they're saying how smart they are and how bright they are and how advanced these new babies are. And these are the new star seeds and the new seeds that are about to be inheriting the earth. When they say the meek shall inherit the earth, these are the seeds that will be inheriting the new heaven and the new earth. And liberation is going to be all around the board. When I say all around the board, meaning women, minorities, you know, people who are subjugated to oppression and all kind of tyrannies, and especially when it comes to government access or government operation, those things will slowly but surely fade away, and the people's consciousness will be the new government. The people's actions and the way we act, we won't even need a police force. We won't even need lawyers and doctors and all of these things. We'll be our own lawyers. We'll be our own doctors. This is what the true liberation is, because we'll be free to do what we want. The reason why there's no liberation because we're not free to do what we want. A lot of us right now want to be musicians, but we have to wake up and go work for UPS or go to the next job, right? But when we're able to wake up every morning, what happens to the mind and the subconscious when the mind and the subconscious wakes up and it doesn't have to go to work and still can have its lights on? It doesn't have to go to work and still can have energy. Not only any kind of energy, free energy that actually feeds the earth and no longer damages the earth. What happens then when the earth starts picking up her vibration from healing from all of the great technology that is no longer destroying her, right? So true liberation is us getting to know her again, the earth, from a mother's standpoint. She is our mother, and we have to get to know her, treat her creatures right, treat ourselves right. A true liberation is we're not going to be murdering creatures for our sustenance. True, all of these things we're on the precipice of all of these things. There's going to be a big aha moment for the world, and that will be the beginning of liberation.
Oh, I love that, Rance. What a beautiful vision. Yeah. So, and I love when you say it's a natural movement toward that place, which sounds to me, the way you speak, as spiritual. So the earth would become a spiritual place to live, spirits.
Well, you got to remember this. A lot of people forget this one thing. Earth is a goddess.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
5'4".
5'4".
Yeah.
I'm 6 foot even. There are 7.9 billion more of us on the surface. We're not even talking about on the inside.
True.
We're just talking about on the surface.
Yeah.
There are 8 billion of us on the surface. She is able to feed, clothe, shelter, educate, and medicate all 8 billion of us. And we can think, we can breathe, we can grow, we can achieve, we can be successful. So can she. I always tell people, look at yourself and then analyze that as with the earth. If you have an inside, doesn't the earth have an inside? If you have feelings, you think the earth is exempt from the feelings and you get your body from the actual earth that gives you the feelings, right? And you have chakras, but guess what? The earth also had chakras. So that means, because remember, the chakras are your spirit and your soul. The Merkaba, the light, that is your spirit and your soul. Okay, well, if the earth had chakras, that means the earth has a spirit and a soul. And now what happens? So that means if you're trying to grow and elevate, isn't the earth trying to grow and elevate as well? Right, on earth as it is in heaven. So I always put into countenance that, or put into remembrance that earth is a living, breathing, feeling, thinking, alive, immortal goddess. And we are her children, experiencing her environment, experiencing her ecosystems, experiencing the way she thinks and the way she moves and the way she feels. And once we wake up to that fact, man, our accelerated spiritual growth would be so rapid because now we actually have a connection to our true mother, our true spiritual mother, and we'll know how to treat her. We'll know how to treat her. We'll know how to upgrade her. We'll know how to do everything without ever harming a hair on her head. And that's when the real evolution begins.
I love listening to you talk about this, coming from a spirit in the male body. That is really a beautiful acknowledgement that the divine feminine, really, it plays a huge role in nurturing peace, love, unconditional love. So thank you for saying that.
Yes, the sacred feminine is, I always tell people, the sacred feminine is our heritage. If you look at the female is the X chromosome mitochondrial DNA carrier. Men do not carry this. And with that being said, it is not just a vital part, it is a source part. That's why they call it Mother Earth, Mother Nature, the mothership, the motherboard. You know, there are all kinds of different names for her. When we start off in the womb as babies, we all start off as female, and then on top of that, for males who don't believe this, there's a heritage that shows you this. And if all males, if you go look right under your private part, scrotum sac, all the way through your shaft, you'll see a line. That long line is when you had a vagina opening and the Y chromosomes got added and your vagina closed up and your fallopian tubes turned into testicles, your clitoris turned into a penis, and and all of the things all of the things that was in your X chromosome mutated into a Y chromosome. And this is science. For the first 6 to 8 weeks, we are all feminine. And so this is a big calling card as to who your heritage and who's giving you all of these realities, right? They say karma is a B and life is a B, you know, the expletive, right? And so I always point that out. When a man names his car, he calls her a she. When he names his boat, he calls her a she, right? The most powerful piece on the chessboard is the queen. If you look at the porn industry, XXX, that's the X chromosome. That industry wouldn't even be alive if it weren't for females, right? When you look at the TV show X-Men, the X chromosome mutated into men, X-Men, right? And look at algebra, X is the greatest expression in algebra, right? And so mathematically, when you look into genealogy and biology, you'll see that our origins begin in Africa with a female. Females from Africa is like, wait a minute, why didn't they tell me this in high school? Right?
Yes, right. Yeah. You know? Why? Yeah. Thank you for the education. Not too late, my Rance. It's not too late to be educated. What is healing to you, Rance? And what are some of the misconceptions we have about healing?
So healing to me, that's why I got into health and wellness. Healing to me is your lifeline. That is the health. Your health is your wealth. We have a lot of dreams that we want to accomplish, but a lot of us aren't healthy enough to see them through. And sometimes we might have a 30-year dream. Hey, I want to build a bank and have the biggest corporation in the world. It might take you 30 years to accomplish that dream. And if you're not healthy, if you're making it to 50 and 60 years old and now you need a pill because of, a bad eating lifestyle, that very dream gets derailed because you're not healthy enough to see it through. Right. And so number one, healing is all around the board. First and foremost, your body. The reason why I say heal the body first, because the body has organic processes and functions that aid and fuel your spirit, your emotions, and your mind. I don't care how strong your mind is. If your body isn't healthy enough to produce the chemicals that the mind needs, then it won't be that strong, right? I don't care how strong your will is. If you don't have the vitamins and minerals in your body so that your cells can draw on those resources to give you more energy to assert that will, then you just have a strong will, a potentially strong will. And so when you look at America, we lead the world in obesity. We lead the world in the 7 deadly sins. The 7 deadly sins, we lead the world in those things. Okay. And this is very unhealthy. So we're trying to accomplish these big goals, but 75 to 85% of Americans are walking around with some type of ailment. This is automatically, think about it. If you have an ailment in your bloodstream, then that same ailment is going to play out in your thinking processes. That same ailment is going to play out in your feeling processes and the way you act. And now you're acting like the very disease that is floating through your bloodstream, never knowing that all I have to do is just purify my body and my mind will slowly but surely go back into a purified state. When I purify my insides, my outsides will immediately begin to see and reap the benefits of it. And so I always encourage people that get healthy enough so that anything that you want to do in life, no matter what it is, you'll be able to see it through. And that is the main thing. And a lot of big misconception in health is that it is only relegated to the body, right? No, after you get your body right and you start getting your body right, now you got to start training your brain. We talk against ourselves all the time. How many people have the word don't, won't, can't, woulda, coulda, shoulda, I didn't, and all of the words that all of the unsuccessful phrases that are programmed into our minds, and we say them every day. The most used letter in the alphabet is the letter I, right? How many times people say, I can't, I'm broke, I woulda, I shoulda, I coulda, if only, right? The 55 alibis of old man if, like Napoleon Hill said in Think and Grow Rich. And so when we analyze this, after our bodies get right, we have to start training our mind to an abundance, health, wealth mind state so that we can begin to resonate with higher frequencies and start attracting those higher frequencies back into our existence, because this is where we come from. We come from a higher vibration and a higher frequency, but we have lowered our vibration and lowered our frequency to experience life on the third dimension. And the whole goal of life on the third dimension is to realize that we can reach our higher frequency where we come from while we're in our lower state. And this is a big misconception that, no, we're here to learn how to reach the highest frequency while we're in our lowest state. That is the ultimate ascension.
So talk to me about the products you offer. I read you have the Miracle Food All Natural Intercellular Detox Cleaning Regimen. You also offer the F.C.A, which means, do I have it here?
F.C.A stands for Full Chakra Activation. It's called F.C.A Yoga. It is its own yoga. I literally on accident invented my own yoga through a guided meditation. And I also have the Money Magic Esoteric program. I show people how to realign and get themselves. So when you look at it, I call it the Trinity. I call it the Trinity Code or the Trinity Program, right? When you got the miracle food that is going to cleanse your body, and the miracle food and the miracle tea. And we've reversed everything from autism to sickle cell anemia. Over 10,000 patients I've healed. Over five doctors in the medical industry that have come to me for advice and help, and not only me to come to me for advice, but has actually bought cleansing regimens from me. So it is amazing how even nurses and doctors come to me for their health. And this is what makes me the doctor's doctor, right? And so getting our body cleansed and with the miracle food regimen. And then after you get your body cleansed, I have to offer you the Train Your Brain program along with the Money Magic Esoteric program, so that you can start seeing that life is all energy, and we came here to learn how to manipulate energy. And so I am the greatest person to teach people how to manipulate their energies into a higher frequency so that they'll never have to experience the pain and suffering that they're experiencing right now ever again in life. And then you have, also you have other products such as sage, incense, crystals, T-shirts, a array of store products, right? Books. You have books that have the Affirmation Bible and Eden's Garden Cookbook that teach you how to eat raw fruits and vegetables and not cook food, right? And uncooked food. Because cooking the food kills the food. And when you're eating a dead food, you're not eating food at all. It's rendered as junk. And so many things that I have to offer. It is just where a person is at in life and where would they want to start with me. I have everybody from guru masters as my students to beginners as my students. And the great thing that just gave me a big inclination of who I am when I have masters who have their own students and they have to come learn from me. And I have people who don't know, from nothing about anything, and they meet me, and now they're upgrading into expertise. They're upgrading into things that they can master. So it's a great best of both worlds.
Every time you talk about the Mother Earth, Spirit, God, it comes to me unconditional love. Always. That's the message.
Infinite love is the only truth. Infinite love, eternal truth is the peace. We have to, in order to get peace in our lives, we have to live a life of love that is filled with truth. Because when we love ourselves, we're able to tell the truth to ourselves and to others. And truth is the actual bodyguard that protects love. If somebody is lying to you, there's a part of themselves that don't love themselves, because true love never lies. True love is able to actually not only tell the truth, but embody the truth and be a walking poster board child for the truth. So I am a big fan of unconditional love, and I am a definite big fan of honesty and integrity and truth, protecting that unconditional love.
We're almost at the end, so I do have a few more questions for you, the ending questions. Would you like to add anything?
I would only like to add, all praises be to the great grand holy mother of all divine. All praises be to the grandmother earth. All praises be to Mother Nature. And that's all I want to do. Just give all of my energy back to the source that gave it to me in the first place.
How do you define success these days, Rance? What is your message for those who believe in success as money, fame, and possession status? What could you tell them? What is your definition, your message on success?
Money, fame, power, status, I call that temporary success. I call that marketing success, right? You market your success with these things, but these things are not at the actual success. Success is, how much are you in love with life? How much are you in love with people? How much are you in love with nature and the animals? How often do you smile every day? How many positive words do you tell yourself and tell others? And how many positive words do others tell you? Most importantly, success is, how many people have you helped take to the next level with through your living, not through your speaking and not through your speeches, but through people actually being able to watch the fruit from your tree come to your tree, eat your fruit, and get a valuable substance from your life. This is the true success. True success, when you talk about money, you're talking about people. People are the real money, because people created dollars. People created the dollar machine. People created the currency system. So the true currency is people. I always ask people, what would you rather, $1 billion or 1 billion people? And I tell them, give me 1 billion people any day, because amongst those 1 billion people, I guarantee you one of them is going to be a billionaire. So I win both ways anyway. So give me the people. And remember, people are the only ones who can pay attention. Time is attention, so time is money. That's why they call it pay attention. So people are the real money. And if you are a people person who can change people for the better, who can upgrade people for the better, who can take people from a downstate into an upstate, this is the true success, because everybody has to remember, one day you're going to leave that body. And one day you're going to be back into your all-knowing aspect of yourself. And when you do that, you're going to be graded, because this is a school. I keep telling you, everybody, this is a school. Now, will you get straight A's, B's, C's, D's, E's, F's? I don't know what you're going to get, but I'm shooting for valedictorian all A's.
That's beautiful. How much are you in love with life? How often do you smile? And the connections we make, how many people do we truly connect with?
Do you see the beauty in all things? So the beauty Are you able to see the beauty in all things? You guys need to go listen to this artist. I always say I was going to start pumping this artist. Me and my wife listen to this artist all the time, and her name is Ishel Prisma. You need to go get her. Her IXCHEL first name and then last name PRISMA Prisma. And she's on YouTube and Spotify and things of that nature. And she has a song called The Beauty in All Things. And when I first woke up into nirvana, meaning heaven on earth, heaven inside of my body, meaning I can die right now and I'm perfect with life, right? Her song, Beauty in All Things, was the first song that came across my desk or into my conscious stream of information that was being broadcast to me. And so I always tell people, yes, how well are you at seeing beauty? How well are you at seeing beauty? It takes a skill to say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, which means it takes a certain type of perception to recognize it. And so that means everybody doesn't have that perception to recognize what is and what is not beautiful. And so I always ask people, I always tell people, I say, hey, how well or how good are you at seeing the beauty in all things? Are you able to see the beauty in this ugly situation that you're complaining about? If so, then why are you complaining about it? Are you able to see the beauty in your struggle right now? If so, then why are you crying about struggling, right? We all have a horror story, but it is those of us who are able to see the beauty or recognize the beauty in our horror story who turns our horror story into a great triumph hero story. So turn your horror story, go from horror story to hero story, because if you look at all hero movies, all hero stories start off as a horror story. Oh, he fell in a vat of he was going through hell and he fell in this vat. Oh my God, how did this happen to him? And now he's Superman or whatever.
Yeah.
And so all hero stories start off as these horrible horror stories. So turn your horror story and go through your horror story. Learn from your horror story so that you can see the beauty in it and turn that horror story into a hero story.
And my last question to you, Rance, is what are 3 things about life you know for sure as of this moment?
3 things about life that I know for sure at this moment. Number 1, life is an actual holographic computer game. Number 1, it is an actual holographic computer game created by infinite intelligences. Let's get that clear. Everything in life is a game. When they say, go look at it, it's hunting game, the political game, the football game, the basketball game, the dating game, the drug game, the corporate game, the sex game. There's a game for everything in life. Everything in life has a game for it. Especially now with apps, there's a game for everything, right? And now we have to realize, well, where do these games get their original mother ultimate format from? Life herself. Life herself is the ultimate games that all of these games borrow their formats from. So, and if we don't wake up every day looking at life as the game that it is so that we can play it and play it to win, because all games were designed for you to win. But even though all games were designed for you to win, all games were designed for you to be beaten by the game as well. So if life is beating you up right now, good for you. Why? Because life is doing her job. She was designed to beat you up. The computer is not designed to be your friend. It is designed to be your opponent, your adversary, who is going to challenge you and try to beat you so that you can come up with greater moves. You can come up with greater plays. You can come up with greater strength and greater tenacity to overcome the challenges and obstacles that the game is presenting to you so that you can be a pro athlete, a pro in the game of life. So life is a complete, think about it. All games give you more than one chance to play it. If you believe in reincarnation, then there it goes. More than one chance to play the game of life. Even if you believe in Christianity and you only get one life, there's a being in the book that still came back through reincarnation called Christ. And he came back and played the game after dying. So we know that all games give you multiple chances to play it. That's number one. So life is a game. Wake up, get into the game, learn the cheat codes of the game, learn how the game of life works, because think about it, you are made and created in the image of the Creator. And if on earth as it is in heaven, if we like to play games on earth, what makes you think God don't like to play games? What makes you think that infinity don't like to play games? What makes you think that the infinite world doesn't have infinite games when all they have in this temporary world are games? So how can spirits in a human body play games, but the actual spirit world don't have games too? How can spirits go gambling, how can humans go gambling, but spirits can't go gambling? So we have to realize and wake up to the game of life. Literally. No, I'm not speaking metaphorically. I am not speaking allegorically. I am speaking literally. Life is an actual holographic computerized video game created by super intelligences. I'll just call it that. I'm not gonna, whatever you like to call the super intelligence, God, aliens, whatever you like to call it, right? Created by super intelligence. Number one, life is a game. Number two, this game of life is here to teach us one major lesson: how to love. There are infinite lessons in learning how to unconditionally love. Right now, we are born into the game with conditional loves. This is actual loving backwards. The word love spelled backwards is EVOL. When I add a VE, I have evolved. So when somebody loves me backwards and shows me conditional love, that is the wrong way to love. But that wrong way that I was shown how to love helps me to evolve into the right way how to love. And so just like the song Lil Wayne said, how to love. And so we are here to play the game of life in different multidimensional aspects to learn how to perfect that unconditional source we call mother love.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So that's number two.
Yes, 1,000 times to that.
Yes. We're here to learn how to play the game of life, to learn how to love. That's number two. And then number three, what I guarantee and I absolutely know beyond shadow of a doubt is that no matter what, you will be able to beat the game if you walk around with this one, if you learn this one skill. You will be able to dominate the game so great, people are going to revere you forever and ever if you learn this one skill. What is that one skill that you must learn? That one skill that you must learn is called no fear. You must learn how to play the game of life by removing and going through the system of fear. There's a system of fears. These system of fears teach you how to really have no fear. A lot of us get distracted by fears, but actually fear teaches you that there's nothing to fear at all. This is why that cliche saying goes, if it didn't kill you, it only made you stronger. Because you literally learned from that and grew a no fear complex from that. And that no fear complex is unconditional love. Unconditional love knows not fear. Unconditional love, even though fear exists in the realm of unconditional love, that's like saying this: you're a superstar, right? You're a superstar. Valeria Cooper, right? Boom. You're a superstar. You got 80 million followers. 80 million followers know you, but you don't necessarily know the name of all 80 million of your followers. But that don't mean you're not Mrs. Koopman, the person with 80 million followers. That just means you just don't know the name of all 80 million of your followers. That's the same thing when it comes to love and fear. Love has a lot of followers. Fear is just one of the followers. But that don't mean love has a personal relationship with fear, and love and fear are lying in the bed together. No, that just means that love has the ability to manifest as fear. And in order to truly learn love, we have to learn her through what we fear. If you fear being rejected, you better go out. You better go out and get rejected over and over until until rejection is no longer a thing. If you're afraid of being made fun of, always put yourself in a position to where somebody's going to make fun of you until you learn how to grow a tough skin when somebody is criticizing and poking at you. Yeah. If you are afraid to be, if you are afraid to assert or speak to a certain spouse or a certain woman or a certain parent or a certain person, then make sure that every day you call that person and speak to that person until you get used to that person, so you'll no longer be afraid to speak to that person. Anything that you are afraid of, you can remove that fear by doing what you are afraid of repetitively. Yeah. So if I'm afraid, if I'm afraid to fly, all I have to do is keep try to fly every day, and the fear of flying leaves because I try to fly every day.
Challenging the fear, right?
So So one, life is a game. 2, that game is to teach you love. 3, you beat the game you beat the game of life and love through no fear.
Thank you so much, Rance, again, for your presence, your wisdom, your generosity, your intelligence. This is, to me, the highest form of intelligence. The wisdom you speak of, it just resonates true to me, my entire being. Yes, it is a game. It is absolutely a game of duality. And then going back to unconditional love, but then first being able to lose the fear, right? Or let go of the fear, really. It's holding us back.
Yes, the fear is the distraction, man. Do not let fear distract you from you, the real you.
1 billion times, yes. So thank you again. Before we say goodbye, where can we find more information about you, your services, products, and future projects, Rance?
Just Google me. I'm already in the system. Me and the Matrix have a wonderful relationship. I am Neo. Chakra Doctor. Just you can Google Chakra Doctor, or you can go to chakradoctor.org. And you spell doctor the conventional way, DOCTOR, chakradoctor.org.
Wonderful. Thank you so much again, and we'll talk soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye for now, Rance.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. To learn more about the Chakra Doctor and his work, please visit chakradoctor.org.
To learn more about this podcast, please visit fitforjoy.org/podcast. Thank you again for listening, and bye for now.